I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, she just put on a sweater and just started a new video. Yes, yes, it is the same day. I am only a few hours away from a flight to Japan, and I will not have the time or internet connection to upload very much during that first month or so of me trying to find an apartment. So I'm trying to do all the filming and all the pre-uploading right now. And also, I have a bit of insomnia, and I'm sure it has absolutely nothing to do with all the sugar that's in this vanilla cream soda. So sleep isn't coming. So, writing challenge then. Yeah? Yeah, let's do that. So this writing challenge is a tidbit old. It started going around at the beginning or mid part, maybe the mid part of January, I think. And I ran into it because Kate Kavanaugh did a video on it, but then very quickly a bunch of other writers participated and it looked kind of fun. So I decided to go ahead and try my hand on it. And this is the Fantasy Creature Challenge, and I believe this challenge was first compiled by DR Ranger Writing. And so I went ahead and pulled up his video and tried to get a sense of what I'm doing. And okay, so Fantasy Creature Design Challenge. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. Like, I truly drew these at random. I'm kind of thinking I might need to do another drawing just to get something different. Because, I mean, what I drew is what I usually write. Like, I write these kinds of characters. I have an entire short story collection of these kinds of creatures. But just to go over it, in case you didn't see the clips very well, alignment is unknown. Yep, that sounds about right. Aura is dark. Yeah, it is. Form is organic. And world is sci-fi. Like, I mean, this is right up my alley. This is right up my alley, but that's kind of part of the problem. Like, it's not a huge, massive challenge for me because these are the kinds of characters I tend to populate my sci-fi creepy worlds with. It's going to be of an unknown alignment. It's probably going to give off a dark aura because, heaven forbid, I'm able to write literally any other work that isn't kind of creepy or dark. And whether it's organic or not varies, but I do have quite a few organic, strange, be sentient, may not be sentient kind of life forms, and I do write quite a bit of sci-fi. So like, this is not, like, it's still a challenge because I have to draw it. And I think, I'm gonna rewatch this part of the video again, but I think when I write a bit of story about it, I think it needs, is it from the perspective of the creature? I feel like it has to be from the perspective of the creature you crafted. I'm gonna go over that video again, just to be sure. But it's not too big of a challenge for me. So let me get something to draw on. Okay, I need y'all not to judge me because I can't draw worth spit, but I tried to give you scale though. So, okay, so the idea is that this is a moon of a planet that's being explored, and like there's some buildings or ruins, probably ruins is more for what I'm going for, in the background, and one of the crewmates finds this tank area, and at first they look like there's something inside that seems to be organic, almost like giant mushrooms, but they're floating in a liquid. And at first they're very, very, very still, and it seems like they're not sentient, but then they can move, and they actually have what looked like part of the mushroom caps are actually eyes, and it's definitely something alive. And yeah, as things like powers and abilities were kind of, you could make it up. So for creatures like this, how would I do that? Because mushrooms are a fungus. Maybe an ability they have is if they come into contact with a creature outside of their species, they have the capacity to, maybe under duress, explode, and particles of themselves could reform into new creatures. Maybe. As far as exactly what they are or their history, I don't think I'll actually reveal that in the short story either, because I kind of want them to remain as an unknown factor. Okay, so the next part should be writing the thing. So, on to that. Okay, so I think I have the story down. It's just the little beginning part of it, and I'm definitely going to edit this quite a bit, so I don't know how much of this is going to be kept, but I kind of like the start of it so far, so let's go ahead and read this. Cynthia could have sworn the moon was dead. It had to be. The lifeform readings had been strange, distant. The kind that looked like yet another system error in a long laundry list of issues with their old T-56 shuttle series. Her father hadn't been joking about the Westside exploration teams getting the short end of the funding stick. Life forms, the sentient kind, had vibrant readings, sharp pings of sound and flashes of a color on the screen. Or at least what Cynthia was told was color. Green, Mary called it, but Cynthia only saw gray, a bright gray, a sharp contrast to the surrounding near black gray of the rest of the screen. But that's what the sound effects were for, in case the grays looked too close to each other. The reading is up ahead, Mary's clear voice rang over the intercom, clipped to Cynthia's ear. Wow, I'd give you my ears, girl. I would for you to see this. It's an alien ruin, what's to see? Cynthia tapped the screen in front of her to enlarge the image being broadcast by the camera in Mary's suit. Text and symbols popped up along the sides, filling her in on details of the stone archways and column buildings her companion passed down below. Despite the light being dim, the walls were all clear on the screen. The colors are so vibrant. Are you seeing any of this? A bit. Lots of light colors are being used, I'd guess, since it's showing on my end. It's like a shimmering rainbow of color down here. It's amazing. The paint, I think it's paint. It's faded in spots, but overall... Mary's voice cut itself off as she rounded a corner and stepped into a partially collapsed amphitheater. Inside was a large domed case, towering from the floor all the way to the ceiling, which had long since caved in. Cynthia couldn't see anything inside it besides two odd blobs of cream in a sea of deep gray. Mary, talk to me. The text on either side of the screen was confusing. Plant-based life form, fluid suspension, brain activity detected. Mary, Cynthia was trying to keep her voice low and steady, but there was movement. Small, almost undetectable. One of the cream-colored spheres had moved. It looks like a giant tank. Mary's voice was light, but sounded curious. The image on the screen getting bigger as she moved closer to the structure. With mushrooms inside? No way. Mary, get back to the landing shuttle. I think these things are alive. Both blobs were moving, getting closer to the glass of the tank. The blobs are so much easier to see than the shifting mass of deep gray. Cynthia almost didn't see strands of what looked like vines dropping over the top of the tank, headed towards Mary. Mary didn't see it, but she heard it. Her camera jerking with her head as it snapped upwards at the sound of water dripping, showing a brief glimpse of long, vine-like fingers reaching towards her. A gasp split through the intercom. So I think I will end it there for now, because I kind of like where this is going, but I haven't really thought about where I want to go with this short story. Pretty much all I had was the creation of this fantasy creature, which is the point of this challenge, but I didn't really have any end game in mind for this world or creature or something that I'm really trying to intend to do. Again, I had some brief ideas of the world itself, but I need to figure out how I'm actually going to get that to complete a cycle in a short story, so you have a nice beginning and end that does something and brings a character somewhere. So that's something I would need to work on. Really all I had with this creature. Personally, I don't think in this world I have a major plan for this creature. I want it to stay as a kind of an unknown thing, a thing that's not necessarily good or evil, just kind of a question mark at all times. So what I'm probably going to do is, I think they're just one element of an experiment, but they're not necessarily like a main creature or anything super important on that world. I think they're just part of something else that's going on that world. So those are things I kind of need to figure out for this short story. But I kind of like the beginning of it, and I like some of the ideas I came up with along the way. Like partway through I was thinking, like, what if we had two people and one of them was colorblind? So I was trying to play with that. It's definitely really rough right now. I definitely need to make it a little bit clearer probably. But yeah, I actually had a really good time starting that little bit of a short story and adding it to my long list of other short stories that I'm writing right now. I have 3, I think this is the 3rd or 4th short story that's currently being written. It was interesting though. It was an interesting idea, and I might try something like this again and just see if I can draw something a little bit more challenging for myself. It's a little more outside of my comfort zone. But yeah, it was a nice little intro to a challenge, and I will go ahead and link the original creator of this challenge down below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching. Bye.